supper a few years back. They were real nice, just kind of different, that's all. Wouldn't touch the ham we served them.
Therefore, I've decided to forward to the New England Journal of Medicine 2 papers, one proving my theory, the other disproving it. Once I find out exactly which way this thing is going, I'll get word to them, and they can rush the appropriate article.
It's kind of like these people have voted me head cheerleader. I run around and wave my baton and chant and carry on. And they smile and chant and carry on. And we just have a grand old time. I even taught them the Iowa State fight song.
On a serious note, the local population seems to go to war with the Yayalele, neighboring hostile tribe. Already, rumors of ambush are circulating, and the war drums have been beating incessantly for
They got a lot of hogs around here, just like back home. Here, they light a fire, heat up some rocks, toss in a pig, throw in a bunch of vegetables, and a few days later, voila! I nearly passed out when I first saw it, but, you know, it tasted pretty darn good.
Fortunately, last year I saved the chief of the Yayalele from a serious arrow wound, so I think I'm safe, at least for the time being, from becoming someone's idea of a souffle, but you never know what can happen.
It's gonna be hard when I come back, Mama. I'm changing a little bit. I'm starting to see things different I never saw before. I mean, we're all natives of somewhere, aren't we?
Oh, yes. An old acquaintance has arrived. She may prove useful.
P.S. Arthur is still crazy about me as ever.
Another body was found, this time not far away.
Oh, dear.
Looks like the Yayalele.
How can you tell?
They have a telltale way of removing the feet.
Ooh, how gruesome.
Yes, I think it would be best if you moved in with the missionaries. I'll send Holonga out with you. His pigeon is good enough. I'm sure you'll be able to explain the predicament to them and persuade them to put you up until this whole thing blows over.
What the hell are you going to do? What about the people here? Who's going to nurse the wounded? These are my people.
Your what?
For the first time, I feel as if I have a real purpose. Like I found my place in the world. Well, I just can't run at the first sign of trouble.
Mary Lou, have you eaten something you shouldn't have? You were a farm girl from the Midwest. A few weeks ago, we were injecting you with Demerol to ease the shock. Now they are your people.
Everything I show them is like magic. I took a little piece of paper and I folded a little origami crane for the children. Why, it was like I breathed life into a rock or something.
They are a primitive tribe, Mary Lou. What did you expect?
I'm not sure. Look, Arthur, I'm staying here. We just can't run off at the first sign of trouble. You said yourself we're making some progress.
I thought I'd impress upon you the dangers, the disease. The women are dying. At any moment you could find yourself, how shall I put it so you'll understand? Breaded, diced, flambéed. If the Yayalele decide to invade, they have no idea who you are. They could just as easily decide you were the devil himself, as the villagers here have decided you were the goddess of food. The Yayalele don't even have the courtesy to kill you before removing your limbs. Who knows when the next opportunity will come for you to depart?
Arthur, 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 there is a spirit here I don't think you recognize. We are being watched over.
By who?
It is everywhere. There's spirit in the animals. There's spirit in the plants. There's even a spirit in that there grass skirt and in your trouser pockets.
My mission is not spiritual, it is scientific. In another day, in another life, I'll come back and talk pine cones. But now, as Chief Medical Officer for the area, I must do what I can to keep this population from becoming extinct and you from bringing harm to yourself through some hysterical fantasy. You're beginning to sound like the missionaries. Maybe you should start your own church.
Well, maybe I should. Okay, now, ladies. Ladies, quiet down now. Yes. Now, let's begin. I understand that Arthur, Dr. Roman, has taught you all a little English, so try to stick with me, okay? Now, tonight, we're going to prepare a fun, easy holiday recipe you and your families will cherish. I tell my girls back home, cooking is more than just refilling the old trough. Sure. If you want your kids to drive semis for the rest of their lives, just blindly go ahead. Smear the same old whatever on that loaf of Wonder Bread. But if you want to make a difference in their lives, if you want to influence world events, now take notes here. It takes, yes, courage, moral fiber. And you see, we're all guilty. We take the easy way. We neglect ourselves. We leave the curlers in, trudge into the kitchen, and just throw together whatever. But this is where we must catch ourselves and ask, is this bologna sandwich really a courageous act? Or, in your case, is this, what? This python grinder? Just another example of our own, lack of control over our lives. Because one day, you're going to wake up and find yourself alone in your hut in all your nakedness, staring at the same old pie tins, asking yourself, is this all there is to life? Are we really such criminals if we take the risk and serve, say, Thanksgiving turkey without stuffing and brown gravy? And this is my point. Who but us is going to change the rules? Certainly not them. Men. No, it is our duty to ask ourselves, what are others around the world serving for supper? Not just your friends next door, but far, far away. For me, I have to say, as repulsed as I am by the idea of termite stew, maybe, just maybe, I have to accept the fact that it is a tasty treat that I may want to serve to my ladies back home. Tonight, when I show you how to whoop together a little cocktail party, fright fritters, you must be brave. You must say, if there's going to be peace in the world, if I'm going to accept other cultures, see through other people's eyes, I must first acknowledge that there are other tastes. We must meet halfway at the table. Now, I know this may be hard for you to swallow. You may think I'm a no-good radical. You may look at me askance. Your husbands may beat you with a branch for changing the menu. But if progress is to be made, this is as it must be. Once the oven is lit, there is no turning back.
The idea of serving food as a means of appeasement is one of mankind's more interesting phenomena. In this part of the world, a well-cooked meal can take on a great significance. If one tribe feels abused by another tribe, for whatever reason, the angered warriors will park themselves on the outskirts of the offending village and wait. Herds of pigs will be slaughtered, perhaps a woman will be sacrificed, and then the meal will be judged. If your village is fortunate to have a good chef and you get 4 stars, then war is averted and everyone can go home safely. However, should things be a bit too greasy, well, you can imagine spears start to fly.
What are they all sitting on the edge of the village like that for? Lord, there must be 100 of them with spears. Do you think we're safe?
Well, we don't have a choice. But if we mind our own business and don't interfere, I think we'll be okay. Their quarrel is not with us.
Where's Makina? I'm worried about Makina.
Working on your cooking assignment, I think.
Oh.
You know, I hate to give anyone else credit, but I was very proud of you. I was very impressed the way you ordered that chap about the other day. I could never have gathered all this data without your influence over them, without you by my side.
Lead from the front. That's the first lesson we learned in the Girl Scouts.
This is the first time they've ever refused with such vigor to cooperate.
Jesus, imagine what they must think of us coming in here with our bottles and syringes, sticking all kinds of things up there. You know what? I'm surprised somebody didn't tell you where to get off long ago. Oh, look, they're lighting a fire.
You know, Mary Lou, I just may wish to reconsider my position, reformulate my current emotions. There certainly was an initial attraction. After my work here is finished, I have no commitments. Perhaps you still share in some of the original sentiment, just maybe. Well, the University of Iowa has an excellent reputation in immunology. They certainly will if I arrive.
Oh, look, there's Makina. I think she's coming here.
You know, the other evening I woke up and, oddly enough, I recalled the little cabin where I studied. That day I looked out the window and you had made a fire and were boiling water right there in the cornfield. I verified your theory, of course.
What are you jabbering about?
Your theory about carnal macabre. It turns out that your instincts were well grounded in molecular science. It seems that after the ear is picked, the fructose remains in the kernel only about 10 minutes.
Well, I told you. You know, Makina's English is getting so much better in the past month. Why, she sings along now. She knows all of Elvis's hits. She wants to get away from here. She's afraid she's going to die like the others. I think she ought to go to Beaver City till this thing blows over.
I know, I've heard the two of you going on.
Oh, you don't think it's a good idea?
Well, frankly, I think it's a bit ludicrous.
Oh, you think she should stay here and die a slow, horrible death?
I'm not sure that the kind of bigotry she will encounter in the Twin Beaver bowling alley will be much improved.
But she could help change things. Why, folks back home knew how gentle and kind-hearted these people were. how much more brains and common sense they got than we do?
Mary Lou, your family that evening argued for 4 hours. They were infuriated that the White Sox should change the stripes on their uniforms. Your brother was in tears.
Well, they just need a good swift kick in the ass. Oh, there you are, honey. Oh, what have you been up to? Now, let's see what you got. Yes. Well, that's a very, very good start. Yes. But here, try beating it with this. There we go. Try it. That's it. That's it. One of the first lessons I tell my girls is cooking is an act of violence. What are they chasing that woman for? Hey, she's running this way. They're all running this way.
Mary Lou, would you please hand me the second slip? Oh, and would you proofread that manuscript for me? It's right there. I'd appreciate it very much.
Where's my name?
Excuse me?
Where the hell's McKenna's name?
Why do you ask?
We did most of the research for this thing. How come we don't get any credit?
On the last page.
Wait.
It's there.
Well, I don't. Oh, is that it? Well, who the hell can read it? Looks like a fly got smushed.
I'm afraid neither of you has acquired the proper credentials to author groundbreaking work.
Why the hell not? We're the ones who ran around butting our noses into everybody's business, asking all kinds of embarrassing questions about who they've been screwing around with. Aren't you even going to stick up for your own wife? You married her. Me, you left in the trash heap at the Twin Beaver bowling alley.
Very good. We haven't the time to engage in a lengthy correspondence with the editors as to whether a cooking instructor from Iowa or a teenager from a primitive Stone Age tribe is qualified to author an article in the premier medical journal of the world.
All you care about is that some big hotshot university names a couch after you someday, isn't it?
A chair. Oh, I suppose a couch would be nice.
Well, all I can say is your wife deserves to have a goddamn lazy boy lounger named after her for all the work she's done. Look at all these charts. It's obvious you don't want your picture going in the back of a magazine here with a native. Afraid the funding may rise?
Clearly, you're unsophisticated as to the ways of acquiring professional accolade or future financial support.
Oh, my ass.
Mary Lou, according to the local government, I am unwelcome here. We have to build credibility if we're to save these people. International pressure. The politics of medicine dictates...
The politics of medicine dictates. I didn't worry about no politics when Thelma Buchanan showed up for class with a black eye one week and a busted lip the next. I knew there'd be hell to pay if I opened my mouth, but I opened it wide. I told her straight to go home, and the next time he beats you, grab a pitchfork and jab him in the eyeball.
Did she?
No, but that's not the point. If you see a thing that assaults your faith in the milk of human kindness, destroy it.
What happened?
She was spineless. She told her husband. He and a bunch of the other husbands came by one evening to have a chat with Daddy. I told them where they could all get off. Thelma had to lie to keep coming to class. She was so proud of her final project. It was a pan-blackened catfish. She actually believed her husband would take one taste and forgive her. He broke her arm, snapped it right across his knee, said it didn't look like nothing he'd ever ate before, and whatever it was overdone. Keep feeding it! Keep feeding it! Feed it! Feed it! Feed it!
Sorry. That's terrible.
Oh, it's why I left. If you can't stand the heat right, I had to get the hell out of there. Not to see you. You were just my ticket. I had nowhere to go. You can't change the world overnight. Not with just one recipe. You gotta do it slowly. Ingredient by ingredient. Sneaking it into their pepper, steak, and mashed potatoes till they don't know what hit them. What the hell is this? The soft gray matter of the brain is not considered desirable and is usually saved for the women and children. The brain is first softened and sucked from the skull with straws of bamboo. Bones are first cracked open and the marrow used to sprinkle or dip. Often the bones are pulverized and sprinkled over vegetables like table salt. Some groups prefer their bodies al dente, while others bury them for several days and then exhume, eat the rotten flesh. The maggots are used as a side dish. Oh. Makina, honey, do you do this?
Heck yeah!
What did you expect?
Well, it's not the joy of cooking. Hey, they're coming this way. Why have they got that woman tied up? Wait a minute. That's Oswego. Hey, that's one of my students. Arthur, I demand you tell me what's going on out there.
Is it not plain already?
Obviously not.
She will be used to appease the Ayalay.
What the hell does that mean?
She has the disease. She will die soon anyway.
You mean they're gonna eat one of my students? How in Mother of Mercy's name can the two of you let them do this? Arthur, Makina!
Mary Lou, it is never wise to interfere in native affairs, particularly now.
But you're already interfering. Look at you. Well, what if you're wrong?
Excuse me?
What if this time you've really blown it big? What if the natives are right and there is some nasty old spirit out there causing the disease?
I'm not sure I understand you.
You carve up bodies like they were capons. What if after you slice up this poor man here and you still can't find what you're looking for? What if for 5 years you've been looking for the wrong thing in the wrong place? Are these people supposed to just stand around shivering, dropping dead, waiting for you like the hay baler? Too stubborn to admit you have no idea what you are doing?
Hey, Baylor, what do you... Ah. Yes, I see. Yes, I have made mistakes before.
Oh, when? I'm not talking about a slip of the pen here. I'm talking about a fundamental error in
Mary Lou,
philosophy.
do you not think it's possible that I have already considered all the thoughts that are coursing your neurons for the first time? Possibility that all of science is nothing more than an elaborate ritual performed by solemn men in white lab coats, just waiting for the moment when they can shout, Eureka! Possibility that I was only a vehicle for you to break free from your low social status, and my initial motives were, dare I say it, savage.
Bon appetit!
Let's see what you got here, honey. Get back over there. This is my side of the hut. Why, it's lovely. Oh, I'm so proud of you. Here, let's give it a taste. Couple of more sessions, and you'll be equal to any of my girls. Motina, honey. Which part of the pig did you use? No, not the brains. Oh, say you didn't so. But it doesn't even look cooked. Makina, this is not the way I... Oh, dear. Oh, God. Makina. Arthur, don't you know? Arthur, don't these people know?
Know what?
You don't eat meat raw. Not pork. You want that little worm to start boring into your muscles? You want to start drooling and walking around the village with shopping bags? blonde hair. Zoning right. What is that thing I was just reading? Oh. Here. The soft gray matter of the brain. Arthur, this part of the article here. This part here, where you talk about how only the women and children eat the brains. You did this research before I arrived, right?
It's my first year here, I believe.
Did you actually witness the natives? I can't even say it. Did you actually think they were chewing on other people's organs?
Well, no. I was informed by qualified sources, verified before.
Did your sources happen to say how long the women cooked the brains for? How long they, left it in the oven?
Well, I'm not sure you can call the practice cooking at all, frankly.
Oh, I was afraid you were going to say that. Jesus! Arthur!
Yes?
Arthur, how long have you been working on this?
What?
How many years of your life have you devoted to curing KURU?
The last two? Why?
Arthur,
Yes?
you've been barking up the wrong tree.
What are you talking about?
The worm, Arthur, the heat. The women and children eat the brains raw. Raw! Steak tartare. Everybody's gotten dead around here because nobody knows how the hell to cook up a decent meal. Been saying that ever since I got here. Woo! You're the genius. Why the hell didn't you figure this out long ago? Hey, you bastards! Leave my skin
Mary
alone!
Lou, you know that's not the way.
Arthur, do you realize they are all about to chow down? The whole lot of them. If you don't get out there and explain the situation, everybody's going to be wiped out. With one meal, this is the Last Supper.
Nonsense. You don't know what you're talking about. Now let's think about this thoughtfully.
There isn't time.
There is always time for deep and earnest reflection. Now let's say you were correct. I'm not saying you are, but for argument's sake, what could I possibly tell these people at this juncture? If I take away their main course, what will take its place? I can't just tell them that modern medicine in the past 2 minutes has discovered that a lethal virus resides only in the soft gray matter of their sick relatives' brains. I can't take away everything they believe, take away their spirit, as you say. That would be worse than the disease. They would certainly be offended, even agitated. Who knows what they might do?
While you're sitting there playing with yourself, an entire culture is going kaput. You're not going to win any awards if everybody drops dead.
You have a point. Perhaps I can try to calmly reason with them to get
Oh,
them to...
you're hopeless. I'll tell them.
Mary Lou, you don't know the danger.
Where the hell's my frying pan? Where is it?
Mary Lou, terrible things can happen.
And give me the brain. God knows I could use some audio-visual aid.
Mary Lou!
Hey,
No,
you bastard!
please, Mary Lou.
Leave
Oh,
us alone!
oh dear. Regina, I can't let her. Oh dear. My entire day has been disrupted. Anthropologists, in their never-ending search for order, have given us 3 classifications for that act, which has stirred so much repugnance and fascination among civilized societies for centuries. I'm referring to the eating of human flesh by humans. First, there is endo-cannibalism, which which entails... Sorry. Which entails the eating of one's own relatives. Then there is exocannibalism, the devouring of one's enemies. And finally, autocannibalism, the eating, if one can imagine it, of oneself. For those scholars who like their cannibalism chopped finer, librarians have supplied us with 3 subdivisions. Gastronomic cannibalism, in which human flesh is eaten for its nutritional value. Ritual cannibalism, where the living try to ingest the spirit of the dead, a form of communion, if you will. And finally, survival cannibalism. Well, you can imagine, your plane crashes. You look about, the cupboard is bare. In your delirium, your co-pilot begins to resemble a ham sandwich. To be fair, there are those who argue that there's no solid evidence that cannibalism exists at all. You see, no anthropologist, or perhaps I should say no anthropologist from an Ivy League university, has ever been invited to take part in the act. It seems that cannibalism stops a few days before our distinguished professor's arrival on the scene. The argument goes on to point out that every race at some point in history has been depicted as human flesh eaters. The Romans claimed that the Christians devoured their dead. The Aztecs were accused by the Spaniards of snatching live persons for their religious sacrifices and then eating the heart. Are we, the argument points out, so prejudiced to our own world view that we can only see that which we wish to see? Well, you'll have the drive home to ponder that.
Now, when you get there, be sure and tell Mama you don't like peas. She'll take one look at you and try to kill you with peas. Oh, and don't let Sister Dune drag you someplace you don't want to go. Her idea of a good time is cruising around Beaver City in the back of Punker Brown's pickup. Now, you're too good for that. Folks are gonna look at you a little funny at first. Like you fell from Mars. But you just ignore them. You've got Arthur's phone number if you get in any trouble. He's only a 10-hour flight away.
Don't forget leaves.
Oh, how many?
2 be fine.
Well, now let me see if I got this.
No cheating. We still in Stone Age. If you one of us must know by memory.
Okay, let me see now. Oh, I forgot. Would you pluck me a few of them hornbill feathers?
Here.
Thanks.
Will there really be cows? Carpeting? Cleaners?
More than you can imagine. Are y'all packed?
This.
You got your bower's brush?
This.
Your bow and arrow?
This.
Good. You'll never know when you might need it. Oh, here, take your grass skirt. Maybe you'll start a trend.
I think it's time to call spirits.
Oh, okay.
You lead, I follow. Chief?
Chief. Chief. for you. You got a long trip ahead of you.
Mary Lou, you know, I miss you already.
Oh, we gotten close, hadn't we?
I made something I want you to have.
Oh, what? I can't imagine. Why, it's lovely, but I'm not quite sure what it is.
Pig tusk.
Oh.
You wear it through nose.
Oh, of course. And look, it goes with my tooth necklace. Well, as long as we're exchanging gifts, I've got one for you.
No.
Yes.
You shouldn't.
Here, open it.
It's wonderful. What is it? Hat?
No.
Plate.
No, honey. It's one of my people's gods. Now, if you ever get in trouble in a bar or something, you just hold this right over your heart. People might look at you like you're a little nuts, but they'll never bother you again.
Okay, now. Thank you, Mokina. I've spoken with the patrol officers. They're almost ready, but would you help me pack the last of my manuscripts and bring them outside, please?
Yes.
I guess this means you'll be leaving soon. Makina's teaching me a native dish. I wanted you to have something for the trip. You look like you're healing pretty well. Good thing the patrol came when they did. We was almost out of morphine.
How can you carry on as if nothing has happened?
What would you have me do?
Do you know the sacrifice I've made for you? What you've done to me, to my career, to my life?
I said I was sorry. I apologize.
Ruined! I'm ruined! I warned you over and over what would happen.
Nobody asked you to go butting your nose into my business.
They had tied you to a tree. They were about to crucify you.
I've been in tough spots before.
They were going to eat you alive.
Oh, why they were just roughhousing her. One back home.
I don't want to hear about back home. Mary, you've come to your senses. The patrol is leaving in 10 minutes.
We've been over this.
You can't stay here. You are a farm girl from Iowa.
I've already told you, Arthur, it's too late. I've already started enrollment. I can't disappoint my ladies.
The natives do not need a cooking school.
I realize it's hard for you to understand, Arthur, but for once, put your feet in my moccasin.
Bah!
When Chief Yaya Laley tied me to that tree, I finally saw what my purpose in life was, Arthur. I saw myself standing on a hill, cooking for the world. I was feeding everyone. And I started sending out Chinese food to the French and French food to the poor people in Brazil. I taught the Palestinians how to cook up a pot roast and grapefruit salad for the Greeks. I taught the Dalai Lama how to bake a potato quiche and the Pope how to whip up a chocolate shake. The students were coming in like crazy. I was teaching, Arthur. I was teaching the world humility. I had everybody waking up and eating differently, finally looking down at their plates and saying, hey, this is good. I was making people wake up and realize that we're all humans. How can we judge? How can we begin to judge another? Until we can sit down and taste with another man's tongue. Taste what he has suffered. Taste what he believes. Taste where he hurts. Taste where he loves. How can we ever begin to judge? And the world saw, for the first time, I have been given a gift, Arthur. A power. This is my calling. I cannot return. Not yet. These are my people now.
But you can save souls in Iowa. At the moment we are speaking, I'm sure the ladies are walking the aisles of the A&P, staring through the glass at the frozen TV dinners.
Oh, I was not going anywhere. These poor folks will all die dead unless they learn how to cook right. The women have got to get control of the kitchen again. The men have screwed it up, just like they always do. We'll start slow, but we'll finally get them to shut up and eat what's in front of them. That's all I ask. Just shut up for 2 seconds and eat what we women put in front of you.
What about Bukina?
Oh, she's a big girl. She'll do fine running the school in my absence. She'll bring my ladies new ideas, new blood. God knows they could use it.
They'll eat her alive. Sorry. I'm still on a lot of medication. You know I don't joke, certainly not under these circumstances.
What'll you do when you get back?
I'm not sure. Publish, teach.
Oh, you hate teaching. You'll shrivel up.
Yes, probably that's true.
Arthur? I didn't know you wanted children.
What are you talking about?
But when you were unconscious, when McKenna and I were nursing you, we filled every needle you had and shot you up with a lot of drugs.
I'm grateful. I'm lucky you picked the right narcotics.
Well, while you were ranting and raving and all, you said things.
It's not uncommon.
Yes, you said some stupid stuff. Half of it was in Latin. Arthur, I've never known anybody who babbles in Latin.
I'm fluent.
At one point, when you were babbling, you started babbling about wanting a child, a little girl. Oh,
Yes, well, I was not in control. I was delirious. Certain dormant chemicals in the cerebellum were released. They influenced the speech patterns. I had nothing to do with it.
Arthur, do you think maybe someday you'll be able to step back away from all of this? Do you think maybe you'll be able to realize that this whole episode of your life is really, really kind of special? Even kind of humorous.
Humor? Just pray tell, where do you find the humor?
Well, you have to admit, you picked the worst possible thing you could have said to the chief, Yaya Lately.
It was the only thing I could think of.
Couldn't you have phrased it a little differently?
Lou, you were beating the chief of a fierce warrior tribe with an iron skillet. I did not have time to consider whether my comments would be misconstrued.
I still can't believe you
Mary
said
Lou,
that.
please control yourself.
Oh, I'll give my right arm.
As I suppose in retrospect, it is rather amusing.
It's a good thing you didn't say, I'll give an arm and a leg.
I'm glad you're getting such a charge out of it. Mary Lou, before I go, would you please grant me one request?
Well, maybe. What is it?
If any anthropologist or member of the Nobel Committee should happen to visit here someday, you won't mention the disease. You won't say anything about who actually discovered the cause of the disease.
Arthur. How can I say this so you'll understand? You see that garden out there?
What garden?
Running right alongside the wall. Right next to the invisible wall, there's a garden with tons of tomatoes and eggplant and wheat and alfalfa.
I don't see it. What are you talking about?
For once, Arthur, open your eyes and look. Just open your eyes and look. There's a rich abundance out there. Vegetables bursting on the vine. It's there, Arthur. I'm telling you, it's there. I can see it. If you'll just shut up, quit thinking about your stupid cries and look.
Yes, I think I can see it now.
You do?
Apple trees. Aren't there hundreds of apple trees, McIntosh?
Yes, and a few northern spy. Do you see the cornfield?
Yes, rows and rows of corn, just like the one we first met in.
Yes, that's right.
And you cooked the ears in the boiling water while they were still on the stove.
It's the only way to get the flavor the way it was originally intended.
Mary Lou, do you think, if you should ever happen to return someday, do you think there is any potential for a reconciliation?
Why, yes, Arthur. I think there's a lot of potential. That is, if you're not married when I arrive.
No. After you, I am not going near another woman for a long time.
The patrol is ready. They say time to go.
Mary Lou, please.
Oh, here. I packed you something for the trip. It's a native dish McKenna's teaching me.
You won't reconsider?
Go on and get out of here. Mama said it best. What else does a mother have to give her children but food? I have my own children now, Arthur. Lots and lots of little children. Many little mouths to nourish.
Well, then, goodbye, Mary Lou.
Bye, Arthur.
Take care of yourself. I must say that life with you so far has been an interesting experiment.
Well, thank you, Arthur.
You go. I be one moment. I have one thing to do. I can eat chicken salad. You can eat this.
Oh, I just can't do it.
If you eat of flesh, his spirit stay with you forever. You carry him with you. Always.
Really?
Yes! Works every time.
Well, now, Arthur. You hadn't heard the last of me. I'm going to finish up what I started here. It may take a few years, but I'll join you someday, Arthur. I'll find you, my love. I'll track you down. We'll have that little girl. My little pastry. You know, back home we have an old saying.
I bet we have same old saying.
You are who you eat.
Thank you. I think we have time for a few questions, yes? No, I never once imagined that I would be standing here in Stockholm today, under the shadow of such great scientists as Curie, Pauling, Einstein. No, it came as a total surprise, yes? The realization The exact moment that the solution came to me, well, it was rather spectacular, like in the movies. I was in my hut, as I recall, making lunch. Pig in a blanket, I believe it was. And suddenly I dropped the pork into the pan and stopped cold. It was as if a thunderbolt had struck. The heavens opened before me. And I said to myself, if I don't cook this pig, the trichina worm will bore into my muscles. What's going on? What is that? Oh my God.